Morning, Q. Sorry about the leg. Skiing?
Hunting.
The name is Boothroyd, Major Boothroyd, also known as Q. Desmond LLEwelyn has become a legend playing the gadget master of MI6, who thrills audiences by supplying deadly devices to 007.
I'd never read a Bond book, but in those days I took the Daily Express. And in the Daily Express they had a strip about Bond. And I was fascinated by them, and I thought they were marvelous. And I always thought to myself, my God, I wish I had some money, because I'm sure this would make a good film.
Desmond LLEwelyn was not the first choice for the role of Major Boothroyd. That honour went to actor Peter Burton in Dr. No. The character is based on a real man, Geoffrey Boothroyd.
Yes, I thought so. This damn Beretta again.
Boothroyd was a gun expert, saying that he liked everything about Mr. James Bond except his deplorable taste in weapons.
Nice and light, in a lady's handbag.
Boothroyd suggested that he use the Walther PPK, and here it is.
7.65 mil with a delivery like a brick through a plate glass window.
Lucky for me, the actor who played Boothroyd wasn't available, and I got the part in Russia with Love.
An ordinary black leather case.
And here is the original briefcase, the first sort of gadget that was used in any of the Bond films.
Press that button there, now she comes.
Q's deadly briefcase is a huge hit with audiences. It features gold coins, hidden ammo, an AR-7 folding sniper's rifle with infrared telescopic sight, and a tear gas cartridge disguised as a tin of talc.
You got it?
Yes, I think so.
The lethal luggage is only the prelude to Q's next invention, the world's deadliest automobile.
Now, pay attention, please. Revolving number plates, valid all countries. Smoke screen, oil slick, rear bulletproof screen, and left and right front wing machine guns. Here's a nice little transmitting device called a Homer. Reception on the dashboard here.
Perhaps the most famous thing of all about the car was the ejector seat.
Ejector seat? You're joking.
This is the first of many remarkable vehicles Q has provided for Bond. By land, by sea, by air. Wherever 007 goes, Q gets him there in style. But sometimes 007 must be more subtle.
This is the only thing that survives of a fascinating weapon called a gyrojet.
Rocket guns. It's a fine gun.
Now, the gyrojet gun is about the size of a Colt 45, but it is very light.
This is our special baby rocket. It's very useful for people who smoke too many cigarettes like you.
Not all of Q's firearms are designed to kill.
In the old days, when you went mountaineering, you hammered the piton into the side of the mountain. Nowadays, you fire it.
Of course, almost any device can be lethal in Major Boothroyd's world, where nothing is what it seems.
I want that ready for Ahmed's tea party.
Very novel, Q. You must get them in the stores for Christmas.
James Bond lives in a world of uncertainty, but over the years, he has been able to rely on a man named Q. The Bond filmmakers know him as Llewellyn, Desmond LLEwelyn.
Working on the Bond film has always been fascinating because they're very friendly, very helpful. All the directors have been absolutely marvelous.
You'd have sworn that this was a scientist.
The homing device is compatible with the standard issue radio directional finder in your watch.
One of the most difficult things for an actor to do is to give a long diatribe about some mechanical thing.
All microchips were susceptible to damage from the intense magnetic pulse of a nuclear explosion.
He's always given the most difficult dialogue to say.
We already know that satellites with infrared heat sensors can detect a nuclear missile in flight by its tail fire.
Well?
Someone can now locate a submerged nuclear submarine in exactly the same way, by its wake.
It's very, very difficult if you're giving a lecture about something you don't know anything about.
The only person who wasn't helpful, of course, was Roger Moore.
Q had, first thing in the morning, had a scene to do, and Roger decided he's going to have one of his practical jokes.
I would sit down with a script girl and write gobbledygook dialogue.
Absolute rubbish it would be, you know, something terribly complicated.
Already the stuff in the script was impossible, but I made it worse.
And I used to give it to poor Desmond, you know, just before shooting, with long words, terrible words, and you don't know what they mean, of course.
They said, "Look, we've changed the scene, Desmond." Hey, okay, fine.
He started, you know, and the crew, everybody knows, except him.
We all watched his face. He went white.
I start breaking up. I can't give them the titters all over. Everybody's going.
Roger would be standing there, and he'd look at me pityingly, sort of saying, "Well, you're not going to get this, you know, old boy. Why bother?"
Desmond looked at me with this desperation. This stupid actor is out of his mind.
Of course, he knew that Roger had done it. It used to be very funny, actually.
Every movie he would do it. He would always fall for it.
Or he would stick up instead of the idiot board with my line on it, he would stick up a thing that would say bollocks on it, which of course didn't help.
The other thing Desmond hated was the thought of wearing shorts.
You only live twice. I did wear shorts, but then I wore army shorts.
I think you say Desmond's going to be in shorts for the next thing. He would go mad.
Roger is terrible. I mean, he was always pulling my leg and sort of interrupting. I'm very, very fond of Roger.
Desmond Llewellyn often has said that he never really had the ability or the knowledge to do any of the technical gadgetry.
He can't knock a nail in the wall properly. He's absolutely useless with his hands, which terrifies me now when I think back what I used to ask him to do.
All of the gadgets he's given are, they work on film, they don't necessarily work behind the camera.
In fact, his house has got nothing in it at all with gadgets.
Desmond has to stand there and make it look as though he's built it and can work it very simply and easily.
People are besotted with these gadgets. And I think that's the thing that they love, to see these gadgets.
He invariably will spend hours with every gag that's been made just so he can handle it and hold it and not drop it or have it fly apart in front of his eyes.
Q is such a tiny little part. It always astonishes me that, you know, I'm so well known. And it is purely because of the gadgets.
What a fabulous human being. Great, great depth of character as a person.
One of the most fantastic characters that I've ever met.
You feel like you're related to him the moment you step into a room with this man.
He is a great, great personality, and I think that to whatever degree there was a Bond stock company, Desmond Llewellyn as Q was the king of the hill.
Remember, if it hadn't been for Q Branch, you'd have been dead long ago.
If there wasn't a Q, there wouldn't have been a Bond. I've always tried to teach you two things. First, never let them see you bleed.
And the second?
Always have an escape plan.